Okay, today's Q&A is about milk substitutes, and the person's question was they found out that they're lactose intolerant, so they want to know what they need to know about drinking soy milk and other milks that are not, so to speak, milks that are not made from actual dairy milk. So most people who buy these alternative milks from soy, rice, coconut, and things like that are doing so because they don't want to have cow's milk. So the first time they do it, they're surprised that they walk in and they see that the logo has a D next to it, which says that it's dairy. Well, that was exactly what they're trying to avoid. So in most cases, there's not actually dairy in the beverage, and they just have a D on it because it was made on equipment that's also used for real milk. And if the company does not kasher the equipment if they make the dairy milk, the regular milk, then when they make the other milk, the hashgacha will tell them that they need to label this product as D for dairy. Now, if that's true, then you could drink this milk, this soy, etc. milk, one of those kind of milks, even if right after you ate meat, and you just can't drink it with meat, and you can't use it in a recipe that would have meat in it. But that's only if it's really true. So it's worthwhile to speak to the hashgacha, who certifies the milk as, in fact, they're certifying it as dairy, to make sure that there's really no hidden dairy in there, such as sometimes in the flavor there'll be dairy, which wouldn't be so obvious to a person looking at it. So you need to speak to the certifying agency to make sure that in fact this is just made on dairy equipment, in which case again you could eat it after meat, but you can't eat it with meat or cook it with meat. While I'm mentioning this, I'll throw in, not really our topic, that a lot of the non-dairy creamers actually have sodium caseinate, which is milk, is made from milk, in it, so it's called non-dairy creamer, but it actually has dairy in it. Go figure. Now, back to our soy milk. The Rama says that a person shouldn't drink almond milk, which is to say is something that looks dairy, because it looks like cow's milk, but it's actually parv. So the Rama says you shouldn't drink almond milk together with meat unless you put some kind of a hecker, some kind of an indicator on the table, so people will realize that you're not drinking cow's milk. They won't think you're doing the wrong thing. So nowadays, the hecker that a person would put on is to bring the container to the table. You bring the soy milk container to the table, and everybody realizes that this is not actual milk, that it's rather soy milk or coconut milk or something like that. Okay, some other things that are relevant to milk substitutes are that the bracha on the mishahakol, even if they're made from rice or oats, meaning rice and oats themselves have a different bracha, but if you made the milk out of them, the Shulchan Aruch says the bracha on the mishahakol, and also is that these milk substitutes are all pasteurized, which is to say they go through what halachically is considered a cooking, and therefore you could add them to a cup of coffee on Shabbos. It's not a problem with Bishul on Shabbos. Now, switching over to Pesach, these milk substitutes have a stricter status than regular milk does. And the first reason is because some of the milk substitutes are actually made from chametz, like there's oat milk, that's chametz, or they're made from kitnias, like soy milk or rice milk. So that's a simple reason why some of them are not acceptable for Pesach. Second is that in order to make rice or soy or one of these or oats into something sweet, to turn from this bland starch into something sweet, you use enzymes. Okay, well, one of the enzymes that they could use is something called barley beta amylase, which you heard the word barley in there. That's for sure chametz. And there are other enzymes that could be used also, not necessarily barley beta amylase, and those enzymes might be Pesach sensitive. So that means even if the actual food is not chametz, like let's say it's coconut milk, and even if it is kitnias and the person's permitted to eat kitnias, he's sick enough that the rabbi told him he could eat kitnias. Even so, you have to make sure that there aren't any minor components in them that are chametz. And the last thing is that these kind of milk substitutes are all processed on the same types of equipment, and those equipment could be used for, or other foods for that matter, and those it could include could the process, that machinery could have been used for chametz, like for oat milk. So therefore, to use any of these milk substitutes for Pesach, you should find one that either has hashgacha for Pesach, not so common, but find one that has hashgacha for Pesach, or find one that's approved for Pesach, meaning that the hashgacha tells you that based on their information, what they know about the product, it's okay to use it for Pesach. As this is all in contrast to regular milk, where it's better to buy regular milk before Pesach. To buy it with hashgacha for Pesach, certified for Pesach because of vitamins and kalim issues. But if it's not possible, then you could drink any milk as long as you buy it before Pesach.